And so please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
More like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and bring
Oh wow, you really have to come in here?
like this guy here.
Is this
No,
is this really happening? You met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
no,
fair.
but you're more in the category like Luther Rickman, Arnold, okay?
My man. Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic. That's great, partner. You two ever go outplace everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go, we head to Kroger's and we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. Oh, God. And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes
can you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
How
I
do you do it?
mean,
Teach
the
me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you gotta get the smile. Smile going on some shoes, but
Wait, hold up.
you got.
I gotta
when it's
try
time,
this with you.
when it's
Hold
time
on.
to laugh,
I gotta try this
you gotta
with
think
you.
of something funny and start laughing.
Do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
This is sexy eyes right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Wish words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's Thursday, y'all. It is Thursday morning, and I am very happy about today because tomorrow's Friday. You know what I mean? Tomorrow is Friday, and we get to be, we get to soak our bodies into the weekend, and hopefully some of y'all are lucky enough to not do a damn thing. This weekend. Like, there's not like some crazy stuff you got to do this weekend. Let's just be straight funky on that. Hopefully it's a nice, chill, relaxing weekend. Allegedly. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, hopefully you guys are all having a great Thursday. There's a lot to talk about. We got a guest coming on to the show a little bit later on later on in the show at the 10 o'clock hour. I'm very excited about having Courtney Harris on the show. We got to talk about some stuff, police brutality that she had a firsthand experience of dealing with. Also, it was all caught live, so we will be watching the entire video here on the show before we speak to her and get to hear her account of what happened. And the story will amaze you. It is an astounding, jaw-dropping, ridiculously unjust story. But it is a story that needs to be told. My brothers and sisters need to be heard about what's going on. You know what I mean? People need to hear what's going on in these streets. And this one's not good, y'all. So she'll be on at the 10 o'clock hour, which I'm really looking forward to. But of course, as you see, we have some things to talk about. I already did a pop-up video about Prince William, but I know for a fact that we all want to see it with our own two eyes as a family and chatted up about it. So we definitely will be looking into it and looking at that video here today. Of course, there's this racist professor, Georgetown professor, that was caught on a Zoom call talking all kinds of crazy racist-ish. It's going to be very interesting to see what you guys think of this particular video. And that's pretty much the sum of all things that are going on today. And we do have some shout out to Mr. Super thank you for the reminder of the judge and this now new third-degree manslaughter that is being added onto it's third-degrgy manslaughter, right? It's
third-degree murder.
Third-degree murder. So third-degree murder that's going to be added onto onto the table for Derek Chauvin and the Derek Chauvin case. If you don't know who Derek Chauvin is, he's the one who killed George Floyd. And of course, everybody's up to argument on how George Floyd died and all that. But hey, we're not there now. We are now in the trial, in the case of Derek Chauvin, and the many cases now that are getting thrown at him now. It's very, very interesting. But anyway, without further ado, my boy, hold up, you're so ready. You drank some coffee today. My boy David is in the house. What's up, man?
Hey, man, everything's good here. Hello to everyone in chat. I've been having a busy week too, so I feel you and wanting to take a nap in a little bit. I still got some more crap to do for the rest of the week.
I foresee a nap in the very near future. I'm not gonna lie. Yes.
I'm having all this coffee now, so I probably won't be falling asleep anytime soon.
I feel you. I can sleep. I can still sleep. It doesn't matter. I can drink like 17 Monsters and a whole bunch of Red Bulls, and I could still find a way to fall asleep. Trust. I'm a professional sleeper. It is a beautiful thing. But yes. So before we go into the Prince William thing, I always want to say Prince Williams. You know what I'm saying? I always want to say Prince Williams. I don't know why, but anyway, Prince William breaks his silence. I did talk about it in a pop-up video, but I'm gonna open it up to the family and talk about that too. But we definitely need to jump into this story about the third-degree murder charge being added. Excuse me, being added to Derek Chauvin's case. David, let's speak on it, man.
All right, so for Chauvin, we have had this third degree charge I think is much more reasonable. I thought before, because the problem is the second degree requires a degree of intent, which you could say he had intentionally killed the guy. You could find people that agree with you, but in a court you have to do it beyond a reasonable doubt. So that's it's kind of a problem, I guess, for that. Before I mentioned that the manslaughter charges would be the best charge, and I think that's still the truth. The third degree, though, specifically in that state, is very close to manslaughter. It only has a difference of, I believe there's like putting yourself in the situation instead of someone else putting you there. So, he put himself in that situation to choke the guy. So that could be fall under third degree pretty easily, I think. Because it doesn't require proof of intent, and like I said, proving intent is really hard, especially if he just showed up in the moment and then decided, to kill the guy, or just did it on accident or whatever. It's really hard to prove what people think, and just because you do need to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt to the jury, I think that the third degree murder and manslaughter are by far the best charges we could see from this, and because. I know a lot of people want to see first degree or second degree, and I understand that in the moral sense, but in the terms of legal sense, it only applies to the third degree murder or to manslaughter. Then there's other crimes I could put on there as well, but those are basically the highest degree crimes I think they could have a hope of the judge ruling with them on.
Interesting, man. I think that they're trying to find something to stick onto him. Right? Mm-hmm. That they're going to do everything that they can to find anything, even if it ends up being just manslaughter, right?
Yeah.
If it ends up just being manslaughter, if it ends up just being, if it ends up being just manslaughter, if it ends up just being that, then they at least have him for something. So the fact that they're giving as many, it's almost like these are the backup plans. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the backup. Okay, if we're not getting him for second, we definitely need to get him for either third or manslaughter, something along the lines, or he's going to walk out scot-free. Either he's got option A, B, C, and D now. D is just walking free, right? So it is interesting that that they gave it the thumbs up, that the judge said, yes, we're going to give them third degree murder as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I agree that in that regard. Because originally I felt, at least, and I think other people did too, that the second degree charge that they initially proposed was only the second degree charge. And a lot of people, including myself, thought that was a pretty much a way to make sure that he doesn't get convicted. So they ended up adding manslaughter, which a lot of people, including me, thought was much more likely to go through. For some reason, they ignored third degree until now, because third degree is probably the most realistic and highest crime you can charge him for in this case, in terms of, just as the law written by definition requires. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm excited to see. I'm just ready for the case to start. I'm just ready for the trial to start. Let's get it moving. Let's be done with it. Let's find out what's going to happen. They say it's going to take 4 to 8 weeks for the duration of the entire trial. But this is not adding this is also, if I'm correct, adding the jury selection as well. So hopefully before summertime we will have a full verdict out there for everyone to hear, and we can kind of move on. I'm hoping that I'm hoping that the verdict goes in the favor of what I feel that majority of people want, which is justice. And justice for George Floyd. What happened to George was wrong. Now it's up to a jury of our peers, I guess, to make the decision whether Derek Chauvin should be getting second, third, or manslaughter. Or walking away. Bruh, that's insane.
There's a very good chance he'll just walk away.
Like, it's insane to think that he could walk away. That's the one thing I'm trying to, honestly, that's the one thing I'm trying to wrap my mind around. That there is a strong possibility that Derek Chauvin could just walk. That's insane.
It is important to remember that, generally the prosecutor and the attorney general work with the police to build up all these cases and stuff. So there's already a sort of sympathy inside of that for him, I would imagine. Mm-hmm. Just because they already work with him generally. That's just the way the law system works, unfortunately. That's why, there's a problem with corruption in trials because of the prosecution allowing evidence that's not necessarily real. So, yeah, I think this is third degree is great. I think that's great because that is going to give us the chance to see something happen. And I think the jury, we don't know who the jury is, but if it's demographically representative of the region, I do think that them finding the third degree murder charge is very realistic. The only issue would be, I guess, if pretty much the prosecutor runs defense on him or ignores what he's supposed to be charging him for, because that's a real possibility. If it's just based on evidence, I think he would at least get the fine. It's a pretty huge fine. And then there's like 8 years to 15 years charge for committing a crime of that sort, or the fine. And so I imagine that the prosecutor, attorney general are going to be working to try and get him off, basically, since they are generally, not in this specific case per se, well, the judge is implicit in this case, but a lot of times the prosecutor does get the investigations from the police and they request additional information that they have to go get. Then they don't necessarily have the authority to put out a warrant or whatever. They just have to request it. But it's a very close working relationship between the prosecutor and the local police department. It's the way crimes are charged. It's how it works. So there's a huge possibility of bias from the attorneys involved to not charge them as hard or not push the charge as hard as they want to, or to like they have to defend their side, but they can defend it weakly and kind of let this go through without a punishment.
I guess only time will tell. As we start to get closer to an actual trial. Of course, they're being very, very picky on who they are bringing in as jurors and all that. And the thing is that it's really hard right now because everyone has seen this video. A vast majority of people have seen the video showing the death of George Floyd. And one of the things that they're trying to do is find people who haven't seen the video so that they don't come in with their own, like they want to make sure that their jurors are unbiased. I think it's impossible. I literally think it's impossible. The whole world saw this. You know what I'm saying? And but they're being very, very picky. Understandably, they're being very picky about who they pick as jurors because they don't want it to be. They want it to be a fair trial. But everyone has seen this video, and some people have their opinions about it, and some people don't.
And it's just
always
crazy. The threat.
Go ahead.
And there's always the threat of them appointing a juror that does, in fact, know exactly what happened, already has their opinion, and kind of wants to push it through for political reasons. This isn't too unusual in major cases like this, I don't think. So it could work out poorly, honestly. I don't think there is necessarily any unbiased jurors in the U.S. that represent the demographics of that area that don't know what happened to Chauvin. and we saw like problems with this before when Trump was like talking about people being innocent or guilty, and that messed up the trial to the point that they couldn't hold it for months. And this is a similar case, I think it could be. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we're gonna have to see. I mean, for me, unless there's something huge like some bombshell with one of the jurors, I'm not. And of course, you know, this information as far as the third degree murder charge that's being slapped onto the case now, onto the trial right now, is a big story. But until they actually go into trial, them picking out jurors, unless, you know, like I said, unless it's some big thing, you know, it's I'm sorry to say it was kind of the boring part, because they're just getting revved up for the actual big game. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, all right, well, when we get to the actual trial, then I'll start looking, you know, I'll start paying attention. But if you're just still picking people out, it could be, I could see it being a very tedious and slow, boring thing. What were you going to say, David?
I was just asking, have you ever been selected for jury before?
I don't know if I should answer that because I don't want to get something in the mail right now. All
right. Well, my point was that, I don't know what my point was anymore. But I guess that, like I say, the jury selection is just going to be impossible, basically. And I guess I really do want to see something come from this. I know I'm sticking on this point, but I really like the third degree charge because I think that is realistic. And I really felt that before this, just based on the degree of the charges, that they were trying to let him walk. And this part's my opinion. I think they were trying to let him walk, and because of the outlash, they ended up adding additional charges because people saw that they were overcharging him, and based on the legal definitions of the crime, knew that he could not be reliably convicted beyond a reasonable doubt. And now that they've added it, probably due to public pressure, it opens up the possibility for the jury and for, basically just for the jury to decide how he should be charged, and if he goes to prison or not. Because at that point, at least for this trial, it looks like that the jury will have the potential, in at least the third degree case, of deciding the punishment. Manslaughter already has. It looks like they don't have as much selection on the manslaughter charge as far as the jury is concerned for punishment, but for the third degree charge, they do get the options. I mean, I don't know what all the laws are there, but for instance, like, they could be like looking for death penalty or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It's just really complicated because you can't tell if someone you're interviewing for prosecution is actually being honest. Because a lot of times I have been selected for jury duty. I've never been to a trial, though. I usually would get kicked out because, I would know what went on and have an opinion already. So you're not allowed in that case to be in. Or if they think that you're most likely.
So that's the trick on how to get out of jury duty. Just go there, know what's going on, and go, yeah, I've seen all that. I already know the whole story, and
charge that guy with.
I wouldn't pick me if I were you. Hey, lawyer, I wouldn't pick me if I were you. Just don't do it. That's maybe what I should do if I ever get picked. But you were saying, I'm sorry.
All right. And so for the jury selection, I have been there. And basically, they are trying to find. It seems like they assume which party you're with after the introductions, and they try to find a way to compromise you based on what they expect your results will be. At least that's how I perceived it when I went through it twice. Pretty much anyone that's informed or has strong opinions of the law or has a knowledge of the fact that you can find people, just the fact that you can find people not, I forget the exact term, but like not worthy of the charge. And that's technically, if you say something like that, you can get kicked out as well. That's just like another one of those rules. So they will try to find ways to get rid of people. And of course, both of them are usually, it's basically a political game, right? So the prosecutor favors the people he thinks will convict, and the defendant or the attorney general picks the people he thinks are most likely to defend. And that's largely based on political basis with things like BLM and situations like this. I do think that they will try to find a way to get a jury that's biased in the way they want. And if they have the right people there, they can get away with it pretty quickly, especially since I don't know. That's really it, I guess.
No, I mean, I just think that, at the end of the day, I mean, as far as jury selection and all that, I mean, it's definitely an interesting thing. It's going to be very hard for them to find anyone. I mean, Lady Justice just said this that I found very interesting. Good morning, Lady Justice, and everybody who's a part of the chat right now. Thank you for commenting and keep the comments going. But she said, I know people who didn't watch and couldn't watch and refused to watch due to violent nature, but they definitely heard commentary. And that's true, too. It's almost impossible for anyone on this planet, unless you live in a third world country and that have never seen TVs or radio before, it is almost impossible for you not to know what the Derek Chauvin, George Floyd story is. You know what I'm saying? It's almost impossible. So for you to form your own opinion before this trial, I mean, it's been a year. Actually, if I'm correct, in a couple days, it'll be his 1 year anniversary of George Floyd's death. If I'm correct.
And I think they can roll his suspension.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think they could roll his time removed from work, like while he was on paid leave. They can, in fact, find that as part of his punishment. So say that he already fulfilled some of it, or if he went through training or anything. They'll find ways to get it off with that, I think.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, so like I said, we'll see what happens, but it's hard for anyone to see. It's hard for anyone to form their own opinion about it all. And like I was trying to say earlier, it is a thing where you had to have been living under a rock or living in a cage for you not to be able to have some sort of commentary about what's going on or about what has gone on. It has been a full year. It is almost impossible for you not to know what's going on. For you to dodge George Floyd stories for a full-on year, you'd have to be a mother-loving ninja dodging that stuff like dodgeball. It's impossible. So for anyone, any of these jurors going in, all of them are going to have their own opinions about this case. Some people are going to be hardcore on George Floyd's side, and some people are going to be hardcore on Derek Chauvin's side. You know what I mean? And that's where it's going to be very hard for the prosecutors and the defense to find a perfect mix of jurors that are going to be unbiased and listen to the case. It's almost impossible. But like I said, we're going to see what happens. We'll see what happens as time goes on. For me, I'm really interested in the case. Like when we get into the trial, I'll be all up in it. The juror selection thing is a little, what's the word? Tedious, in my personal opinion. It's just a little tedious. But we'll see what happens. We got to jump into this next thing because we only have a little bit of time, and then I have this guest coming on here in a little bit. But we got to jump into this next story, and like I said, we will keep an eye on it for sure as we get closer and closer to this to the trial. And once we get to the trial, I'm sure things are going to be going. Hold on. I just got something in the emails.
All right.
Hold on. Whoa. This is big. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. So sorry, guys. I'm doing a little bit of a left turn. We will go into the Prince Williams thing here very shortly. But shout out to Allison. Allison just sent me an email. And this happened yesterday. I didn't see this, but this is very interesting. I don't know if you know who Kendrick Johnson is, but Kendrick Johnson was found. His body was found rolled up in a gym mat, and this thing happened 8 years ago. They were not diving into this. They did not do anything as far as investigation. It just ended up being a what's the word? like a cold case, like an unsolved mystery type of situation. So we got to jump into this because investigation into the death of Georgia teen found in rolled up gym mat 8 years ago will be reopened, y'all. I wonder how the family feels about this. They must be extremely excited about this. An investigation into the death of Kendrick Johnson, the Georgia teenager found dead rolled up in a gym mat 8 years ago, has been reopened, according to Lowndes County Sheriff Ashley Polk. The body of Johnson, 17, was found upside down in the mat in Lowndes County High School in January of 2013. Local investigators ruled his death was an accident. Johnson's parents have said they think their son was killed. It's been 8 long years, Johnson's mother, Jacqueline Johnson, told CNN on Tuesday, and I'm feeling hopeful. The initial investigation concluded that Johnson accidentally slipped in the center of the mat while reaching for a shoe and got stuck. Let me make sure that I make this abundantly clear. This was the initial investigation, and I'm reading this article cold right now, but I want you guys to hear the BS that they just said. That was the initial investigation. Let me read that one more time. They concluded that Johnson accidentally slipped into the center of the mat. Slipped into the center of the mat while reaching for a shoe and got stuck. I'm just going to let that sit there and simmer for a second. Let me let that marinate in y'all brain matter. Okay? Somehow, because he is just, unless he was slathered up in nothing but like, I don't know, Vaseline, lotioned himself up, lathered himself up in some slippery stuff, slid into the middle of the mat, a rolled up mat, whilst reaching, maybe in the middle, head first, something like that, head first, reaching for a shoe.
I don't buy that.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Let me finish this article. Anyway, an autopsy conducted by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation determined that the cause of death, of Johnson's death, was accidental positional asphyxia. But an autopsy conducted by a pathologist hired by Johnson's family determined that the cause of death was unexplained, apparent non-accidental blunt force trauma to the neck. Polk, who at the time of Johnson's death was a retired former sheriff, said Tuesday he was not sure when the situation happened that was an accident. So he's not sure that whatever the situation that happened was an actual accident, okay? If there's questions and they're legitimate, I need to know the answers myself. The only way I'm going to know is to look at the evidence myself, Polk said. After a 2.5-year federal probe, investigators determined that there is insufficient evidence to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that someone or some group of people willfully violated Kendrick Johnson's civil rights or committed any other prosecutable federal crime. So Polk came out of retirement in 2017, and in April 2019, he requested the information collected during the federal investigation to be released to his department. Now, if I'm correct, because I don't want to misspeak or anything crazy like that, but I know for a fact that there's much more going on to this story than what we have here. But the fact that Kendrick Johnson's story is actually being brought back out again and is being reinvestigated is actually really great news, but it's taken them 8 years to do so. David.
Yeah, this strikes me as a situation that I've seen before. Is even involved in one. That's how I broke my nose. But people will do like to attack you. Sometimes people will like throw a mattress over you or roll you up in some sort of tarp so that you can't really move, and then they just start kicking it because it doesn't leave as many obvious as marks if they kick you directly in like your face or something. Like I said, that's how I broke my nose, and I didn't have any like bruises from it. So it's just because that is a way that people roll up others and attack them. I do think that that's most likely what happened here. And while they were kicking him in the mat or under the mattress, they probably, maybe unintentionally, maybe on accident, while they were assaulting him anyway, broke his neck from kicking it. That's my guess, though.
That's a possibility. I keep thinking that could have been it. Hold on. Kendrick Johnson. Okay. Because there is something going on here that they said, and this is in... Oh, okay. Because the thing is that there were conversations about his organs missing when they did the autopsy. He was, but then of course they were saying that his organs were destroyed, could have been destroyed during the process of like, I don't even know. Like it's so confusing. This is the story that I remember that people were saying that some of his organs were missing. Some of his organs were missing as well. Man, it is, and I'm trying to find it right now. Like I said, we're looking this up right now, just so you guys know. Death was they ruled it as an accidental death. During an autopsy, internal organs are removed and examined before being returned for burial.
That's true.
And that's Dr. Bill Anderson, the private pathologist who conducted the second autopsy, opened up the teen's remains. The brain, heart, lungs, liver, and other viscera were missing. Every organ from the pelvis to the skull were gone. He says, I'm not sure at this point who did not return the organs to the body, Anderson said, but I know when we got the body, the organs were not there.
That's wrong.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, and this is from an article from 2013. This is an article from October 10th of 2013. So I just want to make that abundantly clear.
I was just going to say that it's not unusual for people to bisect organs during an autopsy, but not putting them back into place is, I don't know how that would happen. They keep the organs nearby after they dissect them and look for any samples on what could have happened. So I guess they took his organs out and moved them somewhere else and never brought them back. It's weird because, like, what do they do with his organs then? Where do they go?
Yeah.
If they didn't put it back inside of him, because that's technically evidence as well of possible wrongdoing, and now it's gone.
See, and that's the thing. Like, this is, of course, I'm looking at this cold turkey, y'all. We're unfolding the story right now because shout out to Allison. She sent emailed me the article because this is something that is, as of yesterday, broke yesterday. So we're looking at this cold turkey right now, and I'm trying to remember in the recesses of my brain, because we've had so many damn freaking hashtags over the past 8 some odd years. You start going, wait, which one is that one? And then which one was that one again? That's sad, by the way. That is very sad to even think that I have to sit here and go, which one is that? But as my memory, as I remember that there was a big deal about the fact that when they did the second autopsy, his organs were gone. All of his vital organs were gone. Why? Why weren't they in the body? Why weren't they returned into the body when the second autopsy was performed? That's weird. That is weird. So now they're finally reopening the story. They're reopening the case, and they're investigating something that is 8 years old now. That somehow in the investigation, they think that he slid his body into the middle of the mat, reaching for a shoe, and somehow whilst doing that, he broke his neck. Huh? Someone bring some logic into this. Yeah. Yeah, David. Melgoza Jr. Wait. What? That's how I'm reading your comment. Wait. Wait, what? Yeah. He slid his body, like, you know what I'm saying? And kids do stupid things. Let's be real. Kids do really stupid things. That could be a theory. Hey, you're just gonna slide in there. Let's see if you could go get through the entire thing, guys. You know what I mean? Hey, Kendrick, let me see if you can slide through the whole thing. Sure. But that's not going to make you snap your neck. You might get trapped in the mat.
All right.
But you got friends that are going to roll you out. Or you'll sit there and scream until somebody gets you. You're not going to be found days later dead. This doesn't make any sense. With a blunt force trauma to the neck? With a broken neck? Nah, that don't make no sense. Go ahead, David, man. Sorry, I'm still processing this. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the murder is pretty, or probable murder seems pretty straightforward to me. The organs thing is really strange. So I thought about this. I don't know if it's even possible, but he could have had them like on your driver's license where you donate all your organs. That might be a possibility. I don't really know how much they've investigated into, though. Like if they're actually just straight up missing or if they have them somewhere else.
Bruh. Okay, first off, I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. It's just like everything points towards everything. Points down the road of murder. Murder. Period. You never know. Murder could have happened. Then they put that body, rolled it up in the mat. That could be it too. You know, or it could be what you said. It could very well be just a hate crime that turned into murder. You see what I'm saying? Like a hate, like assault fueled by racism that they decided to roll them up and beat the crap out of them. And while doing that, maybe one of the kids or maybe one of the people that were there kicking the mat may have kicked his head a little bit too hard. Next thing you know, he is no longer with us. That could be a possibility as well. But you can't tell me that the initial investigation ended up being the kid tried to slide into the middle of the mat while it was already rolled up, trying to reach for a shoe. That doesn't make any sense. Here's my assumption. This is what I think happened. One, Hippie Buddha, I completely agree. This poor child was murdered, okay? I do believe this poor child was murdered. But let me just throw out my weird, crazy-ass theory. And it may be far-fetched, but go with me on this, okay, guys? This is what I think. He was probably having a fight with one of the kids, okay? They were on the mat. They were probably having a fight with one of the kids. Maybe something went down. Maybe somebody hit him. He was stunned because his shoes were off, right? One was above him, like if it was rolled up. One was above his head, right? So I'm thinking that they got the shoes off. Like somehow maybe it was one of those kind of things where they're like, come on, I'll wrestle you for it, man. I'll wrestle you. So they start wrestling, right? They go into a tussle. Maybe something happens where he gets stunned, right? He gets hit in the back of the head, something like that. Stunned, right? He's on the floor. The kids that are there grab the mat, roll him up, and start kicking him when he is wrapped up in this wrestling mat. That's what I think. You know, and I mean, obviously, I don't know that I'm not God. I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? But this is just my assumption of how things went down, right? It's insane to think that these things went down the way they went down. But we can't sit here and say that this kid just dove into the middle of a mat trying to reach for a shoe. It just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make sense to me. Say again. Sorry again. Say again.
If his shoes were split around like that, like one's above his head, it sounds like he was just struggling to try to get out of there when they, like, you know, because if you, I'm assuming most people have been in a gym room, but you know, you like push around, they're pretty tacky, so your shoes come off, I guess. So that's a possibility.
The other possibility is this: they could have been wrestling, doing something, right? Because his shoes were off. Let's just be real. His shoes were off, so something may have gone down where they were wrestling. Maybe one of the kids is a much better wrestler, does some crazy move. He falls onto his head. You know what I mean? Maybe does a suplex. I don't know what they're called. You know, the wrestling move where he just flips him over and he hits him. He lands on his neck wrong and he dies. And it's a huge mistake. Holy crap! What are they gonna do? Panic? In a frenzy? They roll him up and they run off. That could be it too. There are 3 different options, but you can never tell me that this kid slipped into the middle of it. He just happened to slip and fall into the middle of the what? In the middle of the mat while trying to reach for his shoe? Come on, man. Come on. You can't give me that. Nah, you can't feed me that nonsense. You can't feed me that nonsense. Something else is going on here. There is murder involved. It could be accidental and it could be premeditated. Those are the 2 options. What were you going to say, David?
Yeah, I think that's also a possibility that they did accidentally kill him during wrestling or something. Because, you know, like when I was in school, kids, not just regular wrestling or whatever, like in Olympic style wrestling, but even when I was in school, a lot of people were huge like wrestling fans and would always try to practice moves on each other, even though they're fake moves and they will kill a person in real life. So that is possible. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible. I just, from my own experience, I thought the getting rolled up and kicked, stomped was more likely, but I think your story is very possible as well.
It's plausible. It's plausible. I know that I'm just making things up. You know what I mean? Like I'm having my Stephen King moment and just writing out the story, you know, just saying there could have been many different things. It could have been many different things, you know? You never know. You never bloody know. But at the same time, you cannot give me the BS of, actually, after our internal investigation, we see that he just slid into the middle of it and that was it. He was just stuck there. But then how did he break his neck? How was there blunt force trauma to his neck? Like, why was there a second autopsy that was performed? Why wasn't that found in the first autopsy? They didn't find that in the first autopsy. The second autopsy is when they found the blunt force trauma to the neck. What the hell? Then why are all the organs gone, baby? What's up with the organs, man? Why aren't they in the body? Why is that not there no more? That's weird too. Riddle me this, Batman. Why? That doesn't make any sense to me. Period.
I mean, even if they killed him on accident, like that, it's still a crime. I mean, they left him there, so they got manslaughter, tampering with evidence, desecration of a body. I mean, because you're supposed to, if someone accidentally dies and you're involved, you're supposed to call the police. And if you don't, you're involved with the crime now. So anyone that was involved and he died and decided to hide him instead of reporting it, they will be criminal charges against it. If they figure out who it was, I mean. And I think they could get pretty severely charged for it. As far as, a high schooler goes, it'd be like probably 8-10 years. But it's still a lot.
I mean, but here it is, though. It's 8 years. Something that happened 8 years ago. They covered it up. They did that kind of thing. I mean, I'm sorry. This is something that... There's something about it that's not right. And then, yes, Tammy, they first claimed it was asphyxiation. But it's not. It wasn't asphyxiation. So that's where it doesn't make any sense. Now, that's where I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to unwrap this whole story for myself. And this is an 8-year-old case, basically a cold case. They just basically said, well, we're done with that one. Thank you. You know what I mean? Oh, it's asphyxiation? Okay, we're good. You know what I mean? It's like, no, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any bloody sense. It doesn't make sense. Something else was going on, and they're not telling us the truth. They're not telling the family the truth. They're not telling the papers the truth. They had to... The fact that they had to get a second autopsy, independent autopsy done. Let me just say this. You know what really grinds my gears? The fact that we have to have innocent young black men and women that are dying, mysteriously dying. That the fact that we have to have an independent autopsy on their bodies is beyond me. The fact that we have to sit here and go, wait a second, I don't trust what that autopsy said. I need to go get my own independent one because I know for a fact they're going to give me the truth. An unbiased analysis of what really went down with my son or my daughter or my best friend or my husband or wife. The fact that we even have to do this kind of crap is beyond me. I don't get it. And the fact that this family has not had any justice for 8 years and they just said, oh, it's asphyxiation. He somehow slipped in there and then he was trying to reach for his shoe and he died from, suffocating. We're done. My job here is done. That doesn't make any sense. That's wrong. That's what's wrong with this system that we live in today. It's wrong, and we need to start figuring this out with the quickness. Because people like Kendrick Johnson should have justice and should have the truth out here. Something's wrong. There was murder. They need to bring truth and honesty and justice to this kid. Real talk. But we got to jump into a quick commercial break. But when we come back, I will be sitting down and talking with Courtney Harris. Man, she has quite the story to tell. So stick around, okay? I'll see you guys in a minute. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Peace and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. Now, as long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, and we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire. Open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
gonna perform tonight?
I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is gonna leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood. We inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points: animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall. Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.
Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
You're gonna perform tonight?
I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is gonna leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love.
Wishing you love, peace, and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare, STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare, STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, and we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and sticking around. Like I always say, if this is your first time checking out this show, please go hit that like button under this feed right now, please. And also, don't forget to crush that subscribe button. I do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I also do a 7 p.m. Central Standard Time show on Tuesdays through Thursdays. So I will be on tonight, okay? Unfortunately, Chris Brown's mom, Mama Breezy, Joyce Hawkins, will not be on tonight due to some weather issues that are going on out in LA right now as we speak. But of course, we will be rescheduling that. She will be on, hopefully in the very, very near future, to talk about everything that she has going on out there in LA. But anyway, I digress. We have got to jump into this next thing. A good friend of mine, her name is Courtney Harris. She is with us today. We are going to be talking with her here very shortly. She was a victim of the most ridiculous video I've ever seen that has to do with law enforcement. And I want you guys to see the video for yourselves, okay?
He said I was speeding. I literally was not. He didn't clock me for shit because all he did was see me drive past him and decide to follow me. He didn't say anything about expired plates. He said some shit about fucking speeding in Edmonton, where I live. Here I am in front of my house with a police car behind me. Here I am in front of and I got a warrant. Somebody come get my motherfucking ass. Because this shit is wild. This shit is wild. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I just fucking pulled up to my house after a 9-hour day. No, not a 9-hour day. I got in at 9. It's about 9 o'clock now. Probably about a 12-hour day. And the police officer here. Y'all stay. A 9-hour day. There are police officers behind me. And I am in my own house. I am in my own driveway. I just ain't had time to pay off that bullshit. Impersonation. So, let's see. There's one in Woodson Terrace. I don't know where they're gonna try to take me in front of my own home. But that's interesting. That is interesting. My goddamn driveway. Ain't got me clocked for shit. All I was doing was driving. I turn in just as fucking slow, going just as fucking fine. And then I see him bust a fucking U for no goddamn reason. Because I wasn't speeding when I turned into, he was right when I turned into the shit. I wasn't fucking speeding. Now, after I got out of his view, because his car was out of my view, did I speed up a little bit to get to my house? Yeah. And guess what that nigga did? Sped the fuck up to get to me. I would like to see when he clocked me speeding, but they coming back in.
All right, here we go.
Hey, Courtney, can you step out for me real quick? I gotta talk to you for a second.
Why?
Don't reach for anything.
I'm just okay. I'm not reaching for nothing. I'm at home, dude.
Okay.
Like,
All
relax.
right.
I don't have anything to
Okay,
reach
then
for.
step out, and I'll talk to you at the back of the car, okay?
Why am I stepping out
I'm going
of
to
the
tell you in a
car?
second.
Can you please tell me before
Okay,
I get out
ma'am.
of the car?
Okay, I'm going to tell you one more time to step out of the vehicle, or I'm going to place you under arrest. Do you understand,
I
yes
just
or
want
no?
to know why I'm stepping out of the vehicle.
Are you going to step out, yes or no?
I don't want you to have a bad day. Oh, Jesus.
Step out of the vehicle.
Hi. Okay. Somebody already tried to break into my car.
Know what happened?
Yeah.
We want to talk you back here, that's all.
Why are you making me get out of my car in front of my house?
Doesn't matter where you are. He's asking you a simple order. If you refuse to do that, you're going to be placed under arrest.
What?
Like he explained. Step out. Step out.
You're already
Step out
going to
of the car.
arrest me.
Step out of the car. What?
You're already going. You
Step
already
out.
have reason to arrest me, and you're not going to tell me why.
Okay. You are now. You're under arrest. Step out of the vehicle. Step out. You're under arrest.
Lene. Okay, baby.
No.
Okay,
Stop.
look,
Step
look,
out of the car.
Look.
Stop.
It's okay.
Step out of the car.
I'm okay.
You got it,
Are you going to
Step
put
out.
me in both ways?
you're
One guy has
Step
one
out
arm.
right now. Step
Another
out of the
guy
car.
has another arm.
Step it on your own will, then.
Are y'all seeing this? Wow.
Come on.
I need to get my phone. Excuse me.
Nick, put your hands behind your back right now.
Excuse me. Ow.
Put your hands behind your back.
Ow.
Put your hands behind your
Get
back.
me. Excuse me.
Put your hands
Excuse me.
behind your back.
Ow. 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 Ow.
Stop.
Ow.
Dang.
Ow.
This is...
Ow.
Stop.
Why are you arresting me? Why? You haven't even said anything.
Stop.
I'm in front of my house. You haven't read me any rights. You haven't read me any rights. Okay.
Down. 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 What are you doing? Stop. Stop.
Okay, all right. Wow, what? Oh my God. Okay, guys, I'm okay. I'm not doing that. I'm okay.
Stop. Shut up.
Did he just say shut up?
Can I get my phone
Negative.
now?
You're not getting anything out of your car. It's being towed. Put your feet up. Stand up.
Cars being towed.
Where's my phone? I need to call my family.
Stop.
Give me my phone.
Stop.
You
Stop.
can't take me from my house like this.
Stop.
Oh my God.
Stop. Face the car.
Oh my God.
Stop. What are you doing? Stop. You understand, yes or no?
I can't believe you're not letting me take my phone. I need to call my son and his father.
So there you have it, guys. That's the video in all of its gruesome. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't even know what to say right now. To be honest, this level of ridiculous, unnecessary violence most definitely has to stop. But we do have the person here that was a victim to this brutality, this excessive force. So please welcome my good friend Courtney Harris to the show. How you doing, sweetheart?
Hi, Pascal. Hi, Pascal. How are you?
I am.
I haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a while. It's been a while, sweetheart. For real, it has really been a while.
It was on better terms.
Yeah, I wish it was on better terms. To be really honest, you know, I have to say, one, thank God you are in one piece, because it sounded like it was pretty gruesome and pretty violent, to be honest. So I just want to know, I want to know your account. I want to know exactly what happened before you pulled up to your house, because that was your house, that was your driveway, that was your home. So I want to know what happened before that, before you pulled up to the house.
Yeah, sure. I just got off work. I live in Woodson Terrace, which is a municipality that just is collided with another municipality like St. Anne's and St. John's. So I was driving home and I went to the gas station, which I believe is in Breckenridge Hills, which is literally, that gas station is a minute and a half from my house.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of municipalities, but I went to the gas station. I came, I just wanted to soak in the car in the tub. So I came home, or thought I was going home. I went to the gas station instead because I wanted to soak in my tub, and I needed to stop at the gas station. So I drove back from the gas station, and I was driving down St. Charles Rock Road. I live on Edmondson Road. The gas station is a block up Breckenridge Hills, the police department. I passed that in between the gas station and my street. And I turned left on Edmondson. There's a police officer sitting right there. So I was coming from a turn. And the police officer, I saw him. He saw me. I drove past him. My plates are not up to date right now. I just started working 2 months ago again. I went out of work for 5 months. And I'm thankful, I'm grateful, I'm back to work, but I was behind. I've been catching up. And so I knew my plates were out. So I looked behind me like every other Black person does whenever they drive past a police officer,
Facts.
especially in that area.
Yeah.
And I look behind me, nothing's happening. He sat there. I drive some more. I look behind me again, or I'm looking at my review. He's sitting there. I drive some more. It's been about 30 seconds or so. Again, I live about literally a half a mile up from that main street, St. Charles Rock Road. So it's been about 30 seconds or so. I look up again and I see him bust a U. So I'm like, all right, I don't really know if he's coming for me because there's already cars in between us. I didn't know. And so I'm just like, I'm just going to drive.
Right.
And get to my house. So there's hills. I didn't see him behind me or anything after the hill. So I drive. There's a quick left. There's a quick right. I see him speeding around the corners. And then he turns on his light around the quick right. My house is 2 doors up, 2 houses up from that quick right. So I see him turn on his lights. I park in my car. I mean, in my driveway, unless I was going to come to a screeching halt. So I parked in my driveway. He came speeding up behind me, blocked me in my driveway, got out the car really fast, and came up and said, do you know that you're speeding? And this is not on the video. So do you know you were speeding? Why didn't you stop when I turned on my lights? I was like, because I was driving into my driveway. And I immediately, before he even came up to the door, I already had my hand in my purse, which was on my side. And I pulled up my ID and I gave it through the window and said, I live here. And he asked me why I didn't stop when he turned on the lights. I said, because I'm in my driveway. I pulled into my driveway.
Right. And you might feel like this is a safer choice to pull
I
up in front of my house.
I definitely felt like it's always a safer choice.
Right. Right.
My,
So, okay, because I know then, obviously, the lights were on. You were streaming live at this point, showing what was going on. You're going, hey, I'm in front of my house. I don't know why this is even happening right now. Of course, the cops come up, and they're sitting here saying, we need you to get out of the car so we can talk to you. Why did they ever end up telling you why they wanted to get you out of the car in the first place?
No.
No. So no. So they didn't end up telling you anything. So as you're sitting there going, I just need to know what's going on. Somebody needs to tell me the truth first before I get out of the car. Give me the information, right?
I just wanted, usually, I mean, being a black woman in St. Louis, I'm going to tell you, you are used to being pulled over for minuscule things. And whether it's a head tail light, whether it's I've gotten pulled over for a driver's license, for a license plate light, things like that. And when they use that to pull you over, if you're not financially up to date with things, then they will use that excuse to run your name, to see if you have warrants, to pick you up, to take you in. It's a money game. We know that. When they ran my name, I knew that I had a warrant for my cat. He didn't have his rabies shots, and he flipped out a pet code. I had a plate issue a couple of years ago in Florissant, and I hadn't taken care of that one.
So you had warrants.
So I knew I had.
So you knew you had warrants, and you knew that they were eventually going to either
because I've been arrested.
Hopefully let you go, but also you knew that you knew the inevitable was going to happen, that they were going to arrest you.
I knew that they could arrest me. I knew that they could arrest me because I had warrants at other places. So I was not trying to. I just wanted to know if they were going to arrest me. Why did they want me to step out of the car?
Right.
Because when you see in the video, when they're like, when he's like, don't move or don't reach for anything, he was asking me to get out the car already. And I was just like, why? And I was getting ready to get my mask on so that I could get out of the car, because I knew that he had a reason. But he's like, don't move. He literally doesn't have a mask on. I'm like, okay, I'm just asking why I'm getting out the car. I just want to know, because usually they tell you, hey, you do have a warrant. We are I know how it works. Hey, you do have a warrant. We are going to take you in for it. You have the right to remain silent. Like, I know this by heart by now. I've had a few years living in counties where they definitely make money off the black people not having enough money to keep up with their bullshit.
Facts.
I'm at home. You hear them right now.
Right.
This is historically known for its racism and for its police brutality. St. Anne, St. John, Edmondson, Breckenridge Hills. They're all in little bitty municipalities where they can go over each other's lines and do whatever they want to do. And of course, it's not just the police. It's everything all the way up. Of course, we know, if you ever watch Stranger Fruit about Michael Brown, shout out to Mike Brown Sr., that is a friend of mine, that Stranger Fruit will show how everything is connected and how these systems are made to work completely against us and are biased against everything that doesn't have to do with the blue. And the blue is often, especially in the Republican state of Missouri, the blue is often the red. And I'm not talking about them, Democrat and Republican.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're trying to say. So okay, let's go into and I hate to have you go and relive these moments, but you get pulled out of the car, okay? And obviously the camera is the phone that you're streaming off of is on the hood of a car.
It was inside of my car, but
then it was pulled out. Yeah, pulled out.
I was pulled out, and it was on the back of my car. Yeah.
So then, we hear you screaming. What is going on during that time when you were screaming? What were they doing to you? Because from my understanding, don't mean to jump ahead of time, but I know that
I'll
a
let
day
you
or
know,
two later,
they were.
you went to the hospital for to get your leg checked. So what exactly happened when they started to detain you and you were screaming?
The reason why I was screaming is because of how they were detaining me. They purposely twist my arm to the point where I thought they were going to break it. So it was all the way back and twisted my wrist, and I started screaming. And I just wanted, I felt like I was alone. I didn't know what they were going to do to me. So they started, also, you can hear in the video, kneeing me in my left thigh. That's why I have not been able to walk very well at all, because I have lumps in my left thigh. And it's all I can think in my head is that if they are purposely doing this when I'm not doing anything, if I'm down on the ground and they're still hurting me, if I'm down on the ground and they're randomly mentioning me doing something to them and I'm not, it's like they're rehearsing words. I'm thinking, I don't know what's getting ready to happen. I'm all of a sudden thinking Sandra Bland. I'm all of a sudden thinking anybody that's been abused by the police and been shot by the police. I didn't know when a gun was going to come out. I didn't know if they were going to say since I wasn't resisting in the first place and they were twisting me around and kicking and making sure that I was screaming and saying stop when I wasn't doing anything, when I was already immobilized.
Yeah.
That made me think ahead and say they could possibly shoot me and say that I was doing all of this stuff.
Right.
And I'm thinking this in my head. So I start, as you hear, saying, I'm okay. And I start breathing and trying to relax my muscles. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. And I just kept saying that I'm okay.
Yeah.
Like, and they had, this dude is like 300 pounds. The other, Sergeant Plum is the name that I know. The other guy, the guy that was on the left side of me when he opened up my door and pulled off the door handle. I opened up the door. I opened up the door because I'm like, the door doesn't work from the out. It's already messed up. Somebody already tried to break into it, and he pulled it off. So I'm like halfway opening up the door, and they pull me out. Yeah. I'm literally not resisting. I'm just asking why and what's getting ready to happen. I just needed to know what was going to happen. I needed to know what I needed to tell my son's father. My son, it was at his father's house.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy that they weren't willing to give you the information that you needed to have. And then on top of that, you were willingly getting out of the car. And then there was a moment inside the car where it almost seemed, from what I heard, because you kind of see it on the video, but kind of not, it was almost as if they both had their hands, they were like both on either side of the car grabbing your arms. And you're kind of going, hey, yes. I can't go both ways. You got to let me go one way or the other. And it's almost as if just because you were asking the cops why you were getting they were asking you to get out of the car, that suddenly constitutes as you being aggressive. And it's kind of like, well, wait a second. She's just asking a question. So before she walks out of the car, there's nothing wrong with her asking, why are you asking me to get out of the car?
I mean, we're automatically, as Black people, thought of as being aggressive. It clearly doesn't matter how well you speak or how nice you are or how clear or how you're dressed. I was just coming from work. Nothing of that sort matters. It does not matter. Mm-hmm. And he was so angry. You literally hear me say, I hope I don't want you to have a bad day. And then they pull me out of the car.
Right.
Like, I'm trying to understand how it escalated so quickly to so much force. I understand that I was not right under the law, meaning my plates, meaning financial things that a lot of people have to do. I understood that. And I understood that I also could be transported somewhere else and all of that, because that's another thing. I didn't understand why after this exchange, why I was in pain, why I was kicked, why I was arrested with no female officer, why there were no masks on. Like I gotta put on a mask to go get a pack of cigarettes.
Right.
Why are you even? So I'm literally having so many questions as to why. And now when they towed my car during that from my house, I have to figure out how to get my car back. They cut my purse off of me and went through my purse and through my car.
They cut your purse off of your body.
Yes. Where's my purse?
Did you ever find your purse?
I had to go back up and get it from the police station.
That's insane. That's insane. So they literally just cut off. They literally.
My purse was on me, and yeah, and they cut my purse off.
Wow.
To go in it and everything. So they.
Wow.
Had my ID. They had my. I saw my. I haven't found my debit card yet. Like, it was on the ground because I saw it while I was on the ground. Mm-hmm. And it was right outside of my car, and I have shallow work pockets, so it fell out of my pocket because I just came from the gas station.
Gotcha.
So I don't know where my debit card is. I just had to. They towed my car, so I got some help from the community. Thank God. And I was able to, after like $1,000 of getting shit together. Excuse my language.
You okay?
I was able to get my car back after 3 days because it was a Friday night, Saturday they were closed, Sunday they were closed. I had to wait till Monday, had to get things together, and I picked it up. But I had to pick up my purse separately, so I'm just now getting my purse back, and I haven't been able to work. I work for Ashley Furniture, so I'm in a huge warehouse. I walk back and forth. I present furniture. I'm in pain. My left upper thigh has it's more so like these Charlie horses, I guess they gave me fraud or whatever somebody's been calling them. But since I didn't die, and since nothing's broken, nothing's
thank God for that.
Deeply cut, I'm scraped, and yeah, I can thank God for it. But I also have to say here on this earth, where clearly God is not in the law, because the law says they can do all of this without no remorse.
Yeah.
Or no repercussion.
Yeah, because I know that this is, this kind of thing, this all that transpired, unfolded in front of you was really, really bad. But you never actually so they detained you. They threw you into a truck or like a SUV type of thing, and then
no, they handcuffed me. They had me in the back of the truck. They had a female officer come up after that. If you hear at the end of the video, they say spread your legs because they were already patting me down and stuff. So they had, of course, legally, you probably have to call a female officer eventually,
right,
to come up and pat me down again. But that's what I wanted initially, if they already knew they were going to be taking me in or whatever. And when she got there, I was in pain so much. When she was searching me, I just kept crying and trying to tell her what happened. And she didn't look like she cared. And she was just, when she went over there, had some small talk with him. I hear the cop, Sergeant Plum, say, "Yeah, I lit her up. She just wasn't, and like it's just a normal thing. And here I am. I can't work. Here I am. I don't want my son asking me why I'm limping around. So I haven't been around him.
Yeah.
I don't feel safe driving in and out. I stayed in my house all those days until I was able to get my car out, because I didn't feel safe for people driving in and out of my area to come see me, and I didn't feel safe anywhere but just sitting still.
Yeah.
And hell, a lot of times that doesn't work for us.
Yeah, true. And
Breonna Taylor.
It's a crazy very, very true. This story is so crazy to me. The fact that they pulled you over in front of your own house, they end up towing your car. You have to spend a great deal of money to get your car.
And I lost so much money this weekend.
But what's crazy to me is that still they haven't really. I mean, of course they gave you charges. They charged you. They found reasons to. They found reasons to charge you for something. But this was after the fact, you know. And what's wild is that they are literally just trying to single you out. It seems like for no reason whatsoever. And seriously, I just want to send you nothing but love and prayers and strength to you, because what's going on with you, what happened to you, how you were treated is unjust, beyond unjust. And thank God nothing more devastating happened to you, like you not being here anymore.
Me not being here anymore.
I feel like
if you were me in that situation, what do you think would happen to you?
I'd be dead.
Okay.
I'm just being honest. I'd be dead.
This is much bigger than me. This is for any and everybody. We are in the middle. This is a suburb of St. Louis, Missouri. We are 15 minutes down the street from Ferguson.
Yeah.
This is nothing different. It's nothing new. The area in itself is historically known for this. I am just another one, and I'm just another drop in the lake. Mm-hmm. But if anything, I'm gonna be the heaviest drop they got.
Facts. Let's go into that. So my understanding is, because some of my family in the chat are asking, do you have a lawyer? I think that's the most important question to ask you right now. Do you have a lawyer?
I have been talking to lawyers. I haven't solidified a lawyer.
Okay.
There's people that have been here that said they were going to help, and are still trying to review everything. And right now, I'm really, really trying to just hold on and make sure that I am still here for my child, that I'm still able to go back to work. Court does come up very quickly. I need help. I have charges. So I can definitely use a good lawyer. I'm not perfect. I was going to work. I do my work. I help in my community. That's what just trying to help has always been about, is helping in the community, talking positive, thinking positive. And that's not how any of this works. I literally, earlier that day, I bought my son this book on my break. And I just wanted him to be able to begin to start thinking how I thought. And later on that evening, it shows it's James Baldwin said, to be Black in America and to be aware of the reality of it is to be in a constant state of rage. That's what he said. That is a James Baldwin quote. But I try to be on this side of things, because there's a balance. You have to be optimistic. You have to work. You have to make sure that you make your own way in order to break generational curses. So this was me trying to break generational curses. Mm-hmm. And then I couldn't even bring it to him, because it was in my car for the next 4 days because of the other crap that's real in this world.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. You know, I am so sorry that this stuff is gone, you know, that you're going through this stuff. Real talk. I mean, no person should have to go through this stuff unless they really deserve to be arrested, or, you know, of course, someone who is violent, someone who is breaking the law, someone who is doing something really, really bad. You didn't do anything of that sort, and it's unfair and wrong what happened to you. You know, it's frustrating to think that, as much as we think, oh, no, this will never happen to me, well, it can happen. It will most definitely happen. 9 times out of 10, Black people will end up going face to face with law enforcement and to be treated exactly the same way you were treated. And that's what's frustrating, that this has now become, has become a thing. And I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful that you were able to stream this live, because now people get to see that side of the world and seeing the truth, if not seeing or hearing or both the truth. Because a lot of times it's just hearsay and people say a bunch of BS and they just keep it moving. Oh, she's just making it up and all that. No, we have it live on tape of how you were being treated, how you were mistreated, and how there was excessive force and trauma to your body. And not only just to your body, but to your psyche, etc. It's unfair and it's wrong, you know, and we need to bring those particular cops to justice for sure. Now, I understand real quick, because, you know, we got to jump into a commercial break. I understand that you do have a GoFundMe out there, because I know that you are looking for a lawyer. You're looking for representation to take care of all this stuff, because you not only have they given you 6 charges, but all this other stuff that's going on and all these things that are unfolding. These things cost money. These things are expensive. So please tell us a little bit about this GoFundMe account.
So the GoFundMe is going to be for my legal fees. I have 6 charges, including resisting arrest and obstruction of. So that's going to need some special work, dealing with a system that is biased towards the police officers in the first place. I'm also wanting to go to civil. This is a human rights issue. I understand the things that were legally and that are legally going to be said, but I don't want anybody going through this anymore. When I tell people about where I'm at, they're like, oh yeah, they're racist as hell. That's the most racist place. Yeah, that's dangerous. I'm glad you're even alive. And that is something that I can't even have people come see me, because it's too dangerous. It's like I'm in the 1920s over here. And I want this to be investigated. I want all of the municipalities to be investigated again, because there's been deep investigations. If you Google St. Anne, Missouri, St. John, Missouri, Edmondson, any of these municipalities that are literally within 5 minutes of me, I can hit 5-6 municipalities. And it's dangerous. It's literally dangerous. And I got off of work and almost died easily. But I didn't. I relaxed. I tried to communicate. I didn't die. I'm still in pain. So I am going to go to counseling. There's going to be funds for that. I'm going to be moving. I've been a voice in the community for a while, so I don't know if this is a target or not, but I know that they're not going to like this. So I need to move. These are all things that I was not expecting. I am not in a relationship. I am a single household. Thankfully, my village is big. My son's father, his parents, my parents. Yeah. My son is safe. I need me and my son to be safe together, because I'm with him half of the week. So I can't be here with him. I can't drive in and out of this place with him. I can't be pulled over more often. My car is right now. I'm helping, and the people are helping. Yeah. So I want this to stop. And I know that's a hell of a statement to make, because this is just how it works everywhere. And I hate it when people say that's just how they are. I mean, at one point, we just could get arrested for drinking out of a water fountain. That's just how it was. We got our ass beat for it. That's just how it was. Somebody changed it. I don't want anybody going through this. And I have a 7-year-old little boy. He's being raised through this time, and I'm not going to stop.
Well, so well, we, for a fact that the family, the Pascal Show family is going to do everything they can to help out for sure. The fact that you even said that you are getting charged for resisting arrest is still something that still shocks me, to the point where it's like, how was there resisting of arrest? But like I said, being able to have this GoFundMe account and being able to help family, this is going straight out to the family. If there's any way that you guys can share a little bit of love, a little bit of support to this young woman out here who is dealing with something that is just unjust and wrong, I would really, really appreciate it. The GoFundMe account, I just put it in the chat. Please go. I'll put it again one last time. Please go, and of course, please support This Is Unjust. This is wrong. You guys saw the video with your own two eyes. You can assess how you want to feel about this particular story. But all signs point down a road towards this being police brutality, unjust, completely unjust. So if you can, please go jump onto her GoFundMe. A little bit goes a very long way. And hopefully we can get justice for Courtney here big time. Courtney, I want to say a big thank you for being on. Thank you so much.
Pascal, thank you. I'm just thankful you even took the time to reach out. And there's been so many people reaching out and trying to figure out how to help. I want more diversity in this area, in the police departments. I want an investigation done. I want those police officers not to have a job.
Yeah.
I want them to be charged for assault. I didn't break anything, so it's not important. Yeah. It's not easy.
I think this is something that we need to, definitely, we're going to keep talking about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very appreciative that everyone, that there were people in our community that contacted me and said, hey, you need to see this video. And I got to check it out with my own two eyes, of course. And then, I'm very happy that I was able to talk to you. And of course, I appreciate you being brave enough to get on camera and talk about this firsthand experience, because I can only imagine what you're going through emotionally right now, not only just financially, but emotionally as well. But again, thank you so much for being on, sweetheart. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to go into a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. This is The Pascal Show. Go check out that GoFundMe link. Bye.
Love, peace, and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare, STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare, STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
I'm sorry, I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is gonna leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and being a part of the show today. Like I always say, please, if this is your first time checking out the show, please go hit that like button underneath this feed right now. Don't forget to crush that subscribe button. Like I always say, I do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I do a 7 p.m. Central Standard Time show Tuesdays through Thursdays, so I will be on tonight. Don't forget that. If you haven't done it yet, like I said before, if you haven't done it yet, please, please, please hit that subscribe button. Join the fam. That would really mean a lot. Also, I want to say this too. It is very important that if you guys can go check out her GoFundMe account, Courtney's story is not one that, let's be real. We've heard this story before. What sucks is that we've heard this story before. And that's what's so frustrating about this story. You know, this is not a out of nowhere kind of thing where you're like, oh my gosh. No, we have heard this story so often, so much, that we've become so immune to these kind of stories. I want to do everything I can to stop this kind of BS from happening to every single person. Yes, even white people. Yes, it happens to even white people. Police brutality. Let's be real. But this kind of police brutality should not exist, period. Now, I have somebody that could really use the help. I'm telling you, she gets arrested in front of her own home, parks her car on her own property, in the driveway, in front of her own property, and that car gets towed, y'all. It gets towed, where she has to spend over $1,000+ just to get her car out of the yard, right? It's unnecessary. If you can, please be sure to send as much as you can, any love, any positivity, whatever. Please go shower her with some love on her GoFundMe account. Every little bit counts. Okay?
And
what are you going to say, David?
While you were during the interview, I was listening, but I was also looking up some information. It looks like in St. Louis, you get a $50 fine for expired tags and a $25 processing fee. It does not seem to have an option for arrest. So she wouldn't have been resisting arrest at that point because she wouldn't have been under arrest.
I don't see. That's the thing that's frustrating is that when they say, "Oh, she was resisting arrest," where was the resist?
Yeah.
Where was she resisting? That's what I want to know. The hell are you talking about that this was resisting arrest? She was asking, why are you asking me to get out of the car? Where's the resist? It's not like she was flailing around and punching them or trying to run off. Mm-hmm. She was thrown on the hood of a car and she was handcuffed. What the hell? Because she was screaming? Because she was in pain? Where's the resist? Where's the act of resisting arrest? I'm sorry, I'm confused. Please break this down for me. Go ahead, David.
I mean, they would have had to arrest her at some point because this is a traffic violation, so it's not even a misdemeanor. It doesn't have an option for arresting people. So they, I guess, broke their own law, it seems like, because you're not, it specifically does not give you the option to arrest people for this traffic violation. It says that. So even if her tags were expired, all it should have been was a ticket for the $50 and let her go. There'd be additional fines from the DMV, but those would be her only legal punishment would be that $50 fine and the $25 processing fee. So it's seems like they didn't do their job. Basically, they treated a traffic violation more like it was a felony or something in this case. But obviously, traffic violations aren't that big of a deal. They don't go in your record, or well, I mean, they go in your driver's license record for a little bit, but they don't go into a criminal record or anything like that, and they fade away after a little bit. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, I've had pulled over plenty of times for stuff, and that's just how it always goes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the thing is like Solo Road said, and I agree, you know, he says, I hate rough cops. Police abuse their power. But if you get pulled over with a warrant, you know what time it is. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. If you know that you have a warrant or warrants in some cases, you know what you're getting. You know that you're most likely going to get arrested unless you find a cop that's in a good mood and is kind of like, you know, I'm going to let you slide on this, but I'm still going to give you a ticket. There's those things do happen. But in this particular situation, all she said is, why are you asking me to get out of my car? I'm in my home, or I'm parked in my driveway at my home, in my car. I'm just asking, why am I getting arrested? That's it. She wasn't sitting there going, F you, po-po, nothing like that. Nothing like that. She wasn't throwing any type of things. She wasn't flailing around, reaching for anything. She wasn't acting suspicious. She was asking one simple question. They could have easily just said it to her and said, oh, you know, we needed to get out because we are going to be arresting you for this, you have a warrant out for your arrest for this, that, and the third. We have to detain you. I'm sorry. Sorry, ma'am. But please, can you please get, they could have easily just answered the question, y'all. That's it. Answered the question and kept it moving. Dang it. But no, they didn't do that. They just said, oh, she's being aggressive. We got to arrest you. Reaching in, turning off her own car for her. And suddenly now she's being aggressive. Now she's resisting arrest because she's just asking one simple question that could have been followed by a simple answer. That is wrong. Then on top of all the other things, she gets charged. She gets 6 things slapped on her. 6 charges. For what? For what? They're just trying to keep her down financially and trying to get her all messed up. And that's wrong. 110% wrong.
What was her last name? I was trying to find the warrant to see what it actually said exactly.
Harris. But that's ridiculous.
I should get it up in a second. Yeah, I agree.
But that is ridiculous. And so, like I said, any little bit that you can put towards the GoFundMe account, to her GoFundMe account, please do so. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, any little bit can help. What happened to her is wrong. What happened to her is wrong. And I think if things were played out differently, then there wouldn't be a GoFundMe account being made, if you get what I'm saying. The outcome would have been different. And that's what's ridiculous. You know, I know that she's speaking to a bunch of different lawyers, speaking to a bunch of people, also, of course, trying to find funding to take care of this financially. So yeah, we're gonna see what happens. And Solo Road is exactly right. Yeah, officer could have said, we need to talk to you about your warrant. They could have done that. I've seen so many different scenarios unfold where the cops will be like, hey, I need you to get out of the car. And the person will sit there and go, wait, why do I need to get out of the car? Well, ma'am, or well, sir, there is a warrant out for your arrest, and we need to take you in. Pfft, done. Oh, okay. Boom. Get out of the car. Hands are up, sir. I'm not doing anything. I'm just getting out of the car. Let me get out of the car. You can arrest me. That is totally fine. That's it. Piece of cake. All of this would have been solved by one simple answer. And they took it to a whole nother level for no reason. But anyway, we got to jump into this next thing while David looks up some stuff. There is a story going around about a Georgetown law professor that's complaining about black students. Oh boy, this is bad. She's complaining about black students. Professors Sandra Sellers and David Batson complained about some of their students. She says she has angst, and they are the lowest. They are her lowest students. Yes. So we got to check out this video because this is just redunculous.
They were a bit jumbled.
Yeah.
It's the best way I can put it. It's like, okay, let me reason through that, what you just said, kind of thing. Yeah, right. Unfortunately. And you know what? I hate to say this.
Uh-oh.
I end up having this.
Love when they say, I hate to say this. If I'm going to, hopefully, you know, do you mind if I'm just being honest? Any of those things. Hate to say this.
You know, angst every semester that a lot of my lower
Hold on.
having this, you know, angst every semester that a lot of my lower ones are blacks.
I'm going to roll that back a little bit. Say that again.
Just said, kind of thing. Yeah, unfortunately. And you know what? I hate to say this. I end up having this, you know, angst every semester that a lot of my lower ones are blacks. Happens almost every semester. And it's like, oh, come on. You know, get some really good ones, but there are also usually some that are just plain at the bottom. It drives me crazy.
What's crazy to me is that there's another teacher in the room that is just nodding and going, yeah, I totally, you know, I hate to say this, but it's these blacks. It's the blacks. They're the lowest of my group.
Unfortunately.
Can you roll that back again so I can hear it one more time?
Yeah, I'm about to play it right now. One more time.
It's like, okay, let me reason through that, what you just said, kind of thing. Yeah, unfortunately. And you know what? I hate to say this. I end up having this, you know, angst every semester that a lot of my lower ones are blacks. Happens almost every semester. And it's like, oh, come on. You know, get some really good ones, but there are also usually some that are just plain at the bottom. It drives me crazy.
You ever wonder what is going on during Zoom calls between teachers? Well, here's one of them. These are Georgetown law professors. Georgetown law professors that are talking like this. Professor Sandra Sellers and David Batson are having a Zoom call talking about whatever they need to talk about. I guess they're talking about school stuff, obviously. And she feels like she's comfortable enough via Zoom to start saying stupid-ish like that. Well, I'm amongst my other fellow white people. Let me, you know, if I have to be honest, my lowest students are the blacks, and I get angst. I get frustration. Knowing that my black students are going to be the slowest ones in the group. That's basically what she said. And then David Batson's just like, yep, totally agree. Totally understand what he's saying. Yep, all the time. What? That's real. There are people out here that say this kind of stuff. See, this is the thing, though. We all say ignorant-ish. We're all human. We all say ignorant stuff. I don't care who you are. You could be the wokest, most level-headed person on the planet. You're going to say something ignorant. You're going to say at least one thing ignorant, okay? No one is perfect, okay? Even Obama, I'm sure, has said some ignorant stuff. Yeah, he actually has, I'm sure. Okay? I'm sure, you know what I mean? But when you're going to do or say anything ignorant, wouldn't you make sure not to do it on something that people could hack into? Like a Zoom call? I mean, just a thought. Just a thought. Phone calls, Zoom calls, Skype, any of those things, emails, text messages, going live on anything. You don't think somebody's going to be able to record that ish and use that against you? Especially when you're saying stupid ish? Like, everybody needs to get like swallow that reality pill a little bit and realize that, okay, if I go home and I say this within the confines of my own home, in my own home, and nothing's on, webcams are turned off, phone is down, etc. Okay, you can say any ignorant ish you want to say. Okay? Obama wore a tan suit. That was ignorant. Yes, it was. But anyway, that was hilarious, actually. But you see what I'm saying? You do the stupid stuff, as Solo Road just said, you do the stupid ish in private. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to say some stupid stuff, you confide into your loved one. You know what I mean? In the confines of your own chambers, okay? Where there's nothing around that could record your ignorant sayings or ignorant thoughts. But people seem to think, oh, I can say these things totally fine on a Zoom call because it's just between me and this other professor, and he understands, he can relate. God forbid if there was another person of color in that Zoom call, a part of that group. She wouldn't have said that. She wouldn't have said that at all. She just would have said, I just have angst when it comes to the other students, some of the lower students, that are getting the worst grades in the class. And I get angst. She could have easily said what she needed to say without actually saying, it's the blacks. Bruh, I hope to God this woman stepped down, because I don't know any extra updates about her. Maybe there's a new update since the recording of this video, obviously, it went viral, okay, because everybody's seeing it now. But teachers like this need to resign. Like that video that I showed you guys a couple weeks ago about the teacher teaching the students about the N-word. And how slavery, the slaves weren't whipped by their slave owners, etc., etc. The BS that was coming out of that dude's mouth. The fact that is out in public for everyone to hear. Same thing with this lady. This is a Georgetown professor, by the way. Georgetown, obviously an incredible institution. You got to work your tail off to get into that school. And she's sitting here going, yep, I get angst. I get concerned. I get angry when I have black students because they always seem to test lower than everybody else. Huh. It's crazy. Maybe you're not teaching them well enough. Or maybe those students need to be taught a different way. Maybe your method of teaching doesn't work with every single student. But no, it's just, oh, the blacks. They're just the blacks. The blacks. Hopefully she steps down. Hopefully she resigned. Because no teacher should be teaching, no teacher like that should be teaching any kid. Period. What do you think, David?
Yeah, I agree, basically. So I guess this is a problem I think has been afflicting, education in general. Specifically that people, at least, like these people that were in charge, they generally take demographics as representative of individuals, and that's not how demographics work, right?
Right.
So she's saying that the black demographic is a lower scoring demographic for whatever reason, and she's attributing it to their race. There's not necessarily a correlation there unless you prove some sort of causation. So I don't. Sounds like I don't think it's real, to be honest. I mean, like, this is just such a bad situation, basically.
It is a very bad situation. But at the same time, this is the kind of thing that really angers me more than anything in the world. It's the people that sit there and smile in your face, sit there and go, oh, and they're all trying to understand you and trying to be all like, oh, yeah, I care. I care. You know, I care about my students, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But then when they're behind closed doors and they think that they're speaking freely amongst their own peers, they speak some crazy ish like this. And it's that kind of stuff that really grinds my gears or really angers me, because you're acting one way to the general public, but your true self is being seen and leaked in a Zoom call.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't expect every single teacher and every single person to be perfect. But this kind of mentality needs to stop. Especially when you automatically think, here comes this black student. He's going to be the lowest one in the class. I already know it. You're already sitting there being completely prejudiced over somebody because of their skin tone. You know what I mean? Because his name is Tyrone Jackson. All of a sudden, oh, damn. Here we go. He's going to be tough. He's going to be a tough one. He's not going to understand what I'm saying. Yet he's still in Georgetown for whatever reason it may be. Could be it could be a scholarship for one thing. It could be a scholarship. He could be an athlete, or he really got in there on his own academic merit. But maybe he learns differently.
Yeah.
That's
the
one thing that really angers me about the educational system to begin with. And I already have my own feelings about the educational system, on how everything has to be every kid. They still think to this day that children learn the exact same way, but it's not like that. Every child is different. Every child learns differently. Doesn't automatically mean that child is suddenly, boom, oh, he has an LD, a learning disability, or oh, he's testing terribly because of this, that, and the third. No. Why don't you look into the student and understand how he needs to be taught so that he retains the information? But people are lazy. The educational system can be lazy. And they automatically think that every student has to sit in a chair, in a desk, and that's how they learn. That's not how all children learn. Not every child learns that way. Not every child learns that way.
Yeah, and
so then you have a person like her sitting here. Sorry, David, but let me finish my thought. You have a person like this woman that's automatically thinking like that. Oh, because he's not understanding the thing, then these kids, maybe those kids need to be taught a different way. And that's it. Maybe they need to be more tangible with their work. Maybe not. Maybe it's more audible. Maybe it's more visual. You never know. But that's what, David, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I basically agree with you and everything there. There's an implicit kind of racism in here where she thinks that black people, by virtue of being black, are less intelligent or whatever, and she's using that based on the demographics of her class, which doesn't really work, right? Because demographics don't represent an individual, because individuals aren't probabilistic. So say, like, she thinks that 50% of black students are the lowest performing or whatever, and that she expects that when they come in, like she said. That's pretty much the definition of racism, right? You're taking the demographic and expecting some percentage that you've seen to represent each individual, but that's not really how it works, right? Because we're looking at percentages based on the demographics, but with individuals, it's not like a 60% chance the individual you're talking to will think a certain way. They already think a certain way. So that part is not probabilistic. And that means that demographics are not a good representation of it. So, to say, she said, I think basically her statement was that black people are stupid, I think, is her statement.
Pretty much. I mean, let's break it all the way down. She's just going, I get angst because when I have black students, I know for a fact that they're going to be stupid.
All right.
And it's like, nah, it's not like that. It's not.
Yeah, that's the definition of racism, I would say. And there's also this aspect of not supremacy per se, but superiority, where you see this a lot on both sides, left and right, where pretty much people think that every black person needs a white person to speak for them.
Yeah.
And that's not how it works. You got to listen to the individuals. You can't act like every person you run into fits the statistics. You know what whatever statistics you think they represent. And I mean, her being a teacher, this is especially bad because she should already know these things. She should know how to teach different students. My sister, she got her teaching license in both Kentucky and Tennessee, and she had to go through all these different ways of treating different children that, you know, might have specific difficulties or come from a different background, like how the specific information or ways you need to teach them. And this is kind of a thing you see starting just now in academia, which should have probably happened a long time ago. But they have started, or I say over the past 5 years, focusing on like a lot of tests to decide what kind of learner you are, like a visual learner versus an auditory learner. And so like there's been a lot of studies on this, and it's pretty common at the university level, but it doesn't really go to I'd say the lower levels, like elementary schools and that. So like in elementary schools where you're getting your foundation of education, they aren't teaching you how to learn yet. They teach you how to learn after you've already finished high school. It's really kind of too late at that point. Let's be real.
Absolutely, man. And that's why I just have no time for people like this that speak that way and think this way. But let me just say this, okay? She is not alone. She was with another dude in that Zoom call, and he was sitting there nodding his head, being like, yep, I agree. She wasn't only the person. She's not the only one, okay? She's not the only one that thinks this. There are other teachers that feel the exact same way, that say that stuff, but they say it within the confines of their own home, in the privacy of their own home, or they say it face to face with their fellow teachers, and they say what they need to say. But there's a lot of teachers out here that think exactly the same way, and that's what pisses me off more than anything. She said what she said, but I don't think she's going to be working at Georgetown anytime soon. I'm sure they're going to be asking her to voluntarily step down, resign, etc., before they actually have to do any drastic measures like firing dead ass. So we're going to see how that goes. We're going to see how that goes for sure. We got one more thing. I said I was going to show you guys this video, so I need to do this real quick before we take off because we are well beyond our time today. But I wanted you guys to see this video. Now, I have talked to you guys about this in a pop-up video, and if you haven't done it yet, go check out the pop-up video after this, but I'm going to show you guys this particular video. Prince William, okay? I don't know why I like to say Prince Williams, but I always say it. Prince Williams, all right, broke his silence today. I already did a video on it. Go check it out when you get some time, but I'm going to show it to you guys here too. He breaks his silence about whether his family is racist or not, whether the royal family is racist or not. Let's take a look at this video.
About anything. Sir, have you spoken to your brother since the interview?
No, I haven't spoken to him yet, but I will do.
And can you just let me know, is the royal family a racist family, sir?
No, we're very much not a racist family.
Very much not a racist family. You know, okay, I've already did my breakdown about this video, but I know for a fact I'm probably going to get in a whole lot of trouble for saying what I said in my pop-up video that I did this morning. But this thing feels to be staged. And I already said it in the pop-up video, but I'm going to say it right here too. It just seems too convenient that paparazzi shows up during a time that he is at a schoolyard. It doesn't matter that he's at a schoolyard, but that he is here so coincidentally standing next to a black woman being asked if he is racist or asked if his family is racist. I already said this in the pop-up video, but I'm going to ruin it already just by doing this. We got to look at this one particular spot right here. Now, it's fine. Some people are going to think that this is just a guttural reaction that he's having right here, but it almost seems too perfect right here.
No, I haven't spoken to him yet, but I will.
Oh, wait, right here. There we go. Hold up. One more time.
Have you spoken to your brother since the interview?
Right there. The whole, oh, you ask. You ask so perfectly while I'm standing next to a person of color. Ha ha! Perfect. Well, I will be talking
she's
to
in
my
the
brother.
forefront, too.
Oh, yeah, she's the forefront. She's standing right next to his ass. All this. Oh, I will be talking to my brother. Oh, of course. You ask me right now. Oh, of course.
No, I haven't spoken to you yet, but I will do.
And can you just let me know, is the royal family a racist family, sir?
No, we're very much not a racist family.
We're not racist. I'm standing next to a black chick. We're not racist. What you talking about? I'm standing next to a black woman. I can't be racist. If I was racist, I wouldn't be talking to this girl right next to me in my general vicinity. Get out of here. I'm sorry. This be staged. Go ahead.
Let's not ignore the fact he's a prince and she's just basically his servant. So it's not really like a good look. I mean, I assume that everyone there with him is, part of his job. So
yeah.
Yeah, so I agree basically that it was somewhat staged.
Hell yeah.
You see it on American conservative things too, where they often have black conservative or something do the speaking, and
it's just. I mean, okay. I already did my 2 cents on it in the pop-up video. Go and check it out. And I did say what I had to say in there. And of course, I was a little timid because, of course, I love my people and I don't want to piss anybody off. But I know that there's some people that are probably going to be like, yo, F you, he's a national treasure, or he's not a national, but, he's a country treasure or whatever. He's England's treasure, whatever. OK, but it just seems too perfect. Now, I understand that Prince Charles almost did basically the same thing. Like he was around a bunch of black people and or he was seen going and having conversations with a bunch of black people. And it just seems like this is all at the same, you know what I mean? It's almost too perfect. You got Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle comes with a bombshell, right? And in this bombshell, she's saying, all them be racist. Mm-hmm. Every single last one of y'all. I'm not going to give y'all the names, okay? The whole royal family be racist, okay? So then, of course, a couple days later, they're all sitting there going, oh, we're around people of color. Okay. See, take the picture. Pictures. Yes. Okay. Scatter. Leave me. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that the entire time. Clearly, it is some straight up staged crap. Now, I also said this in the video, and I'm going to say it now too. Prince Harry did say that he is in good standings, or the royal family is in cahoots, right? They have a good relationship with the media and paparazzi. Here's the other thing. How would paparazzi know where Prince Williams was going to be at? Let's just be real. Think about it. Somebody's got to be telling them, giving them a hint, a tip, saying, hey, Prince William is going to be at this particular school talking to these people, so on and so forth. Maybe you can go and stalk him there. They're not at his home. Like, when you saw yesterday when we watched Piers Morgan hanging out with his daughter, they found him at his house. They were outside his home stalking dead ass, right? That wasn't staged. He was just sitting there going, hey, yeah, you can talk to me. I don't care. Let's go. This is only great press for me, for my next big endeavor, right? But they go to, instead of being in front of his home, in front of William's home, they go to the school. How do they know that he's going to be at that damn school? Then perfectly, he's walking by and one of them goes, oh, sir, Prince William, sir, yeah. So what will you say about your family being racist? And he's like, oh, we're not racist. What? Staged. What were you going to say, David?
Yeah. So The reason I think that this was somewhat staged is because of, we got this camera angle, and the entire group he's with is make sure that they're spread out so everyone's face can be seen. And they have the black woman closest to the camera, even though the guy would most likely be trying to get closest to the prince to get questions from him.
Yeah.
So I just think this is the case of tokenism to kind of validate your statements.
Bang.
It's like the old standby of "I have a black friend, I can't be racist" type thing. I mean, that's not exactly what he said, but that's the vibes I get. And he said their family's not racist. We got different stories from other people, and ultimately we're probably not going to find out. Find out more information because the queen has pretty much said she wants to keep all this in the family now. So basically what that means, she's trying to shut it out of the news cycle.
Oh, yeah.
Because that is her main job, is a publicity person, to be real.
Yeah.
And so I guess this just looks staged. Just the angles, the cameras, her forefront, his response was perfectly timed there. And the paparazzi wasn't acting like a paparazzi trying to get closer to the prince. He was staying closest to the black lady to keep her in front of the camera. So that seems odd to me. That's not what a paparazzi would do, because you're not going to make money off of showing her in the tabloids.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, babies. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all, okay? And it's gross, and it's wrong. And I feel bad for the woman that was standing next to him. I don't know who that woman is. I'm sure she's somebody who represents that particular school and all that, but they definitely used her for something. They used her as a damn prop, and that's disgusting. That's absolutely horrendously disgusting, in my personal opinion. And I just, Mr. Super said, I can't be racist. I love chocolate ice cream. Get out of here, Mr. Super. You're not allowed to be my friend no more. I'm just playing. But
it's like,
seriously,
I drink black coffee, so I like black people.
You see, I drink black coffee every day. You know what I mean? I drink racist coffie. I drink nothing but black coffee straight. You know what I mean?
People say that shit too. Like, seriously.
People say that stupid stuff. Or the thing that just gets me going is the whole I can't be racist. I got 2 black friends. It's like let me just do a slow golf clap. Like what is that? What does that mean? What does that entail? You got 2 friends that tolerate your racist ass. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Sit down somewhere. Just go sit down. Prince William, go sit down somewhere. Okay? Just quit trying. You trying and you're failing pretty miserably. What would have been better? And maybe and let me just throw this in. I said this in the pop-up video. Go and check it out, please. But in the video, I also said, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt too. He could have literally just been at a place and they just caught him walking out of a building next to a black woman. That could very well be it too. But seems way too staged, way too perfect, way too clean too. It was way too clean. You saw the thing with Pierce Morgan. Like you were just saying earlier, David. Paparazzi was all over that ass, all over, and it was messy. And they had the boom mic and you know what I mean? It was just all over the place. You had paparazzi all over. You saw all these people, everything. Prince William, it was too clean, very thought out and planned, and that's sad. If they used that black woman as a token, I hope she knew what she was doing or what she was being a part of. And I hope she secured so many bags for being the prop in that video. But anyway, that is the video today. What's up?
I was going to add one quick thing is that for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, there are videos of them being mobbed by paparazzi. So
yeah.
So it's not that unusual. I mean, they do have guards, right? Someone said that in chat. It is true. But there's no one between him and the prince to stop him. You're not allowed to go up on people, but they're going to do that anyway. I mean, just look at Princess Diana. They got as close as they could while she was bleeding to death and did nothing just so they could get those pictures.
Facts. They were swarming the car taking photos while she's either dead or taking her last few breaths. And they didn't give two damns about her livelihood or anything of that sort. So that's what I mean by it's just crazy to me that the whole thing was set up. I'm sorry for saying that. I'm sure that there's going to be other people being like, no, it wasn't set up. It wasn't a setup. It just happened to be a coincidence that he was standing next to a black woman, all that stuff. But it just seems too set up. Too set up. But go and check out that pop-up video. Please, please, please be sure to do that. We got to wrap up this show. David, thank you so much for being on, man. Thank you.
Yes, it's a good show.
He said, yeah, it's a good. Was it a good show? He literally had a moment there. He's like, was it a good show? It was a good show.
I don't remember what we talked about first.
There was a lot that we talked about. Holy crap. But I appreciate everybody who came on. Thank you to Courtney Harris for being on. She is a soldier. She is brave as hell. And please go check out her GoFundMe when you get a chance. Like I said, every little bit counts. A little goes a very long way for her and what she is trying to fight against right now. Of course, if you haven't done it yet, hit the like button down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, por favor. That would be great. Hold on, I gotta do this thing before I forget. And of course, if you haven't done it yet, please go check out my merch. I got some really cool stuff out there, so go check it out. Go check out my pop-up video. I'm sure I'm going to be doing another pop-up video before my 7 p.m. show. My 7 p.m. show is going to be a little bit different because unfortunately I do not have Joyce Hawkins coming onto the show this evening. Hopefully we will be rescheduling for sometime next week. We will see. Some issues really going down. Apparently there's like some winter storm going through freaking LA right now. Bruh, see what I'm saying? Like, this is some weird stuff. It doesn't snow. It doesn't rain in Southern California, but now it's snowing? What's going on, y'all? What's going on? You know what I mean? Let's not have another Texas, okay? We already had enough problems with Texas. We don't need another one. We don't need an LA. You feel me? Woo! Anyway, we'll see what's going on with that for sure. But anyway, I'll be on tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Be on the lookout for my Discord update because I'll be putting out something which is what we will be talking about, what will be the focus of our conversation on tonight's show. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, y'all, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for your support and hearing all these stories and just talking with us and being a part of the conversation. Anyways, time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Love, peace, and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare, STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare, STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
Live it up, live it up, live it up.
the Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.